On demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com. And here we go with the morning sports desk. This is what we like to call the state volleyball special with Sebeka Trojans head coach Becca Pulju. Hi, Becca. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning.
So we've got a lot of stuff to cover. First of all, congratulations, Sebeka Trojans volleyball going back to the XL Energy Center and the state volleyball tournament. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, thank you. We're very excited.
So I was trying to think back. We talked prior to your section championship game with Pine River Bacchus, and we'll go back and recap that here in a moment. But it was 2015 the last time Trojans volleyball was at state volleyball. That same year, there was another team out of the PRC. Verndale was also there. I was trying to think back. I seem to remember Zach Parisi sitting in the entryway of the gym. When you look back all the way, 9 years ago now to that state volleyball trip, what do you remember about that time? And I guess, how does that help you leading into this week with bringing another team there?
Well, yeah, again, Zach Parisi, yes, was there. I did shake his hand and he said, "Oh, your team's really good." And I felt kind of special because it was Zach Parisi, and come on.
Of course.
But I think it's been nice. And my assistant coach, John Locust, who's also my AD, like he was on coaching staff as well then. So for us, I mean, it's been a long time since we went to state tournament, 9 years, but to rely on, like, we've done this before. So it kind of helped us in the organizational factor of like what we need to do, what we need to take care of, how to plan things. Just to get the kids ready to go to state tournament is a big deal. Like the first time I had no idea what to do. Now I know what to expect. I know how to prepare them a little bit more, like for the giant venue, that it's cold. We're on top of the ice, like all these little things that you wouldn't know as a first-time coach. I feel like I have a little bit of more knowledge. And I just remember that experience. And I've had a few players from that team reach out this week and stuff. So that's kind of cool. And they're like, "Oh, it's such a core memory. It was so much fun. Just savor it." And, just some things about that. Like my kids were in third grade and first grade when we went. And now my assistant coach, Emily Crabb, her daughter's in third grade and she's experiencing this with my kids. And it's just kind of full circle. And so I'm just trying to enjoy some of it a little bit too.
Right. Is there any big similarities between this year's team and that 2015 team, or are they very different experiences?
No, I feel like they're very similar in this aspect of that. We are really good on ball control. That first ball we control really well. Defense pretty solid. And again, we had lots of offensive weapons that year. I mean, Heidi Olsen was like our big gun, but we had Aaron Lilquist, Morgan Palmer, Jordan Lilquist, like Alexis. We had good, and Madison Lake was our setter out of the middle that blocked, and that's exactly what we're doing this time with Jalen Lilquist. And again, we have 5, so we're offensively balanced. I feel like that's similar to that team in 2015.
So, all right, let's do it. Let's go through this section tournament. Victories over Verndale, over Walker Hackensack Akeley, over Pine River Bacchus. We talked in pre-games to all the other matches, so let's focus maybe on that section championship game with Pine River Bacchus. 3-1 victory over the Tigers. Pine River Bacchus, they cannot find themselves out of the mix in Section 5A volleyball ever. They're just always feisty. They're always in it. What did you take in hindsight now, looking back to that section championship from your team and what you saw out of them that night?
Honestly, when I was doing the stats, I didn't realize that we won that fourth set 25-12. Like that was a blur to me. Like I honestly was like, "Oh my gosh, did we really win 25-12?" To take away from that, like we knew coming in, like we had played them earlier in the year, and it was kind of similar actually the way the scores played out to our match to them, like 4 weeks prior to that. They are going to be relentless on defense. I knew that they were going to tip us like crazy. And they're just going to keep the ball in play. They just wear you down. Pine River, I mean, Hershey does a really good job. Those kids come tournament time, they are always ready. And that's why they're such a good program. So I wanted our girls to have confidence, but also not be overconfident that you just beat them, So I think what I take away from that is that we just kind of went next level. Like before the game, our kids are playing tag. And I know it drives people insane. Like my husband is losing his mind. Like, what the actual heck are you doing? You're goofing around. I mean, no one knows that we were there 2 hours prior. They did their RPR. They warmed up their legs. They did their mental, like we do different things. But then this team just kind of plays loose and they have to. So if they want to play tag, I don't care if they play tag. But I did have a few people afterwards like, really, is that how your team prepares? I'm like, yeah, well, it worked okay. We won. But they just kind of enjoy the moment. And they're focused, but you also just have to have fun. And I feel like our girls kind of embraced that. They locked in when they needed to, but then they really next level when we played. Like, I've been coaching these kids a long time, and obviously one of them is my kid.
Right.
And talking to Annika afterwards, she's like, I was not losing. I just was not losing. And you could see that, like, she was like, it's not dropping. I'm getting and then everyone else feeds off that and kind of goes to that next level. Miranda Locos was not feeling very well, and she just sucked it up and did what she needed to do. And it was kind of, so it was great. And they all did. Like, Ellie Ness serving out the game at the end, that fourth set, she gets really sweaty hands. Like, it's actual, like, a medical condition.
Yeah.
You could just see her like blowing on her hands and like just taking deep breaths. And she did so awesome. That was fantastic.
So you make the state tournament. When we talked before the section playoffs started, I asked you the question, like, was this a subject matter amongst the team? And you said we had a magic number. The magic number's 4. My question is, does this go back to the beginning of the season? Was there a discussion about a state tournament, or did it become real come section tournament time?
It goes back to 54 weeks ago or 55 weeks ago last season when we lost to Nevis in a tournament, playoff game, in a great game. So a really good team in 4 sets, and we played excellent. I got on the bus and I told the girls, they were heartbroken and, shattered. And I said, remember this feeling, like, this feeling stinks. Losing is no fun. And so we just kind of had a like, hey, what can you do from now to next August to not have this feeling again? Like, you want to win. Your goal is the state tournament. You have the capability to do it. And they all kind of were like, yeah, and they did reference that a few times. And then we kind of, at the beginning of the season, we said we do our goals, personal goals and then team goals we meet. And our goal was this was our goal, state tournament. And it was kind of funny. I kind of forgot about that speech a little bit after we got one against Pine River. I got on the bus and I like, girls, we're going to state. And then my assistant, Emily, was like, I got shivers because I remember last year's conversation on the bus. So yeah. So this was something we talked about. We knew it was attainable. We knew, the section lost a lot last year. A lot of really good teams graduated, quite a few kids. So we knew that if we did what we needed to do, we could definitely be in the mix come section final.
So that's obviously all the fun stuff. There's still matches to be played, right? There's still a state tournament in front of us. Before we look at your particular matchup, what is it about your team that you really like? And what are some things that at the state tournament level need to tighten the screws down a little bit?
I like the way we're playing right now. We're playing with confidence, and I like confidence because winners win. And if you have to think you can win in order to win, that's kind of our motto. Our state shirts say winners win. And that's kind of like, you have to think you're a winner to win. So the girls have the right mindset. They, we talk about it all throughout playoffs. Like, we've prepared for this. Like, we went and played at New Prague in August for an early season game. We went to the showcase to play at the Volleyball warehouse. Like, we've gone to do the things to prepare us for the games that we're going to go to the state tournament. So, I talked to the kids, it's going to be a great experience, but it's also a business trip. Like, you're down there to do something. Like, we want to show that Section 5A isn't as weak as everyone thinks it is. We want to show that we can play. And honestly, the biggest thing is to getting our kids ready for that venue, to be in that big of an open space. The ball is coming. There's no point of reference in the interior court. So that's our goal the next practice. And then we practice at Concordia on Wednesday and Thursday. Just big open spaces to try to get our kids acclimated and to not panic. That was the hardest thing last time with the state tournament. Is like, it's so different than any place you've ever played. And hopefully they react okay.
We'll talk about your opponent here in just a little bit, but you reference this being the 8 seed, earning the 8 seed in this tournament. This is the first time they've seeded 1 through 8 in the state volleyball tournament, and they're moving towards this in other tournaments as well. I'd imagine, this chalkboard material for, you put that number 8 up there, or does that not matter?
The state tournament's always been seeded 1 through 5, and then it was a random draw.
Right.
I've looked at lots of random draws throughout the years, and It is what it is. And you want to be seated at 1 through 8. I was a big proponent for that. Like you're going to feel bad. I don't feel bad. We're made to the state tournament. We're one of 7 teams still playing. Like there's no bad feelings. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you use it as kind of motivation. Like, let's prove that we're not a number 8 team,
mm-hmm.
you know, but again, I'll take 8th out of 200 teams.
Right.
So it's just, you know, like it isn't, you know, obviously it's not what you want to be seated. We're hoping for higher, but you know, our season didn't give us that. So that's what it is. I like it though, 1 through 8. I think that's how it should be. You want your state championship team game to be the best match.
Yep.
The tournament.
So as the 8th seed, you get the top seeded Mayer Lutheran. I think if you asked anybody in the state of Minnesota who has even just like a minuscule knowledge of high school volleyball, and you were to say, who do you think the top 2 teams in Class A volleyball are? They would say Mayer Lutheran and Minnesota, and that's exactly how it worked out. What do you know about Mayer Lutheran, the Crusaders, just besides the fact that historically they're awesome?
You know, they're good. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
And actually, I would say the number I would have picked Mabel Canton.
Sure. Yeah,
and they got upset.
Right?
They're upset. They got upset in the section, a 7 seed. So anything can happen come playoff time. I think that's and I'm going to use the Mabel Canton story to my girls this week because that was an upset. That was a huge upset. They were predicted to win the state tournament. But anyway, back to Mayer. We saw Mayer at the showcase. They were down there. So we watched them play a little bit. We oftentimes are playing at the same time as other Class A teams, but they're good. They've been in the state every year. It's a private school.
Mm-hmm.
So those kids come from all over.
Yep.
Go to that school. And they're all really good athletes. They all play club volleyball for Northern Lights or big clubs. And they, they're the real deal. Those girls on a place. So it is what it is, like we have nothing to lose is what the fact, you're telling the kid, like, play your best, do your best. And wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be fun to just show, like they don't know what to expect. We're the 8th seed. They probably don't even know where, never heard of Sebeka.
Right.
Which they have. I know Joelle. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. I don't know where it is, but she knows us a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Before I let you get out of here then, Becca, I want to just look back on the season. Is there a moment during the year where, hey, maybe you thought a state tournament trip is in play for us? Is there a moment in the year that stands out, a storyline from something that happened during the season that is just worth a share that helps lead to the culmination of the state tournament birth?
I think there was a few moments in the season where like we were playing and we were doing really well. And I looked at my assistants. I'm like, I think we're really good.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of like, I knew we had the potential to be good. We had a lot of pieces. These kids, they are athletes. Like they're, most of them are all 3-sport athletes. They do the things and they also want to win and they enjoy the game. And I just kind of was like, maybe we are good. Like maybe the Perham tournament, we played pretty well. Mm-hmm. We lost to Big Thief River. We just kind of lost our mind. But after that, we regrouped. I'm like, okay. And then since then, we've won all of our matches since that Thief River loss. Mm-hmm. But I think there was a moment mid-season. I just kind of looked at John and Emily and Alicia like, yeah, holy crap, we could make it to the state tournament. Maybe it was after the Pine River win, I'm going to say.
Sure. Like,
okay, this could actually happen. It was kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's not even real yet. I don't know. It's just super cool. It's super exciting. I'm giddy with it. This is just awesome.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I'm excited to be there again to help cover what's going on like it was 9 years ago. It's going to be an awesome time. Congratulations to you and your coaching staff and your team, and good luck. We'll see you down there.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey.
The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.